Thanks for dealing with us.
He's such a good sport.
I know he is. Okay.
All right.
Ready?
Yep.
All right. Well, welcome to another podcast with the Hearts to Homes team. We're excited to be here today. We have a special guest. Yay!
Yay! This is Steve Chandler with Hall Financial, one of the best guys ever.
Yes.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the invite. It's great to be here. Hello, everyone. So, yeah, wonderful.
Well, we want to tell you a little bit about, I guess, Hall Financial, and we'll talk about Steve as well. But Hall Financial is a lender that we've been working with, I think, for Josh and I were figuring it out about a year and a half, almost 2 years. We really love them. We do a lot of business with them. Josh, he's our number one guy.
Love you, Josh.
Love you, Josh. Not that we don't love the rest of you guys, because we do. Chris, Matt, Dan, with some of the other gentlemen that you.
All the guys. Yeah,
Matt.
Yes,
Yes. We love all you guys. Hall Financial is amazing. But Josh is my dude, and we've done a lot together. And he really takes the time, especially like with our first time home buyers. He really takes the time to go over everything with them and answer questions, and he returns their phone calls. Go figure. He actually returns their phone calls. I can't tell you how many. Yeah, I know. I can't tell you how many people will say, like, I've called 4 lenders and only one called me back, and it was Josh. So, but I know you want to say.
Yeah. One of the things that sticks out with Hall Financial to me is, we've been searching for lenders that represent that are carry on to us. We are a concierge service. We put our clients first, and Hall Financial matches that every single time. Every time I follow up with my clients, they're always like, Josh is so sweet. Like, they feel so comfortable, and I just love that because we have the same values, and that's really important. So,
yeah, I've actually, as a joke, I know that they record the calls now, and so when I called Josh, I said, "Do they do this for us? Are they doing this because of our conversations?" Because I've actually threatened them. Like, if you're not nice to me, people, I will like punch you, punch you in the throat. So it's just jokes, but we just have a good time. On top of it, just even having humor and making sure that our clients are taken care of. So it's just been really, really a great relationship. We have worked with a lot of lenders. We have a lot of lenders that reach out to us. And he even handled my personal mortgage. So I was really happy for.
We were honored to do so, by the way.
Thank you.
It's really nice to trust us with that. Yeah, we take a client's service extremely seriously. We have almost 7,000 5-star reviews. It's hard to get. It's hard to get a client to give a review. For them to take time,
especially when it's good.
Yeah, when it's good.
When it's bad, they will sit there all day long.
Yeah. Keyboard warriors, right? But to get them to give you a 5-star review, the service has to be boutique style, which is really personal, and that's why we match up with you guys so well. Is you guys, I think, give that service that is really unparalleled in the industry, and so that's one of the reasons that we do like when you bring us a client, they're on the fast track. We're making sure that client gets taken care of very well. We have a wonderful processing team that helps Josh and the rest of the guys to process the loan efficiently and quickly. We typically have most of our purchases ready to close in about 13 business days or less.
I think you guys just beat that. I was just telling Katie, I just got one under contract. I swear it was just last Monday. And
you guys are closing already? Like,
Rachel called me yesterday and was like, "You have the clear to close." I'm like, yes, which we wanted because our client wants to turn around and get his home on the market like ASAP. So
a lot of that right there, which is really wonderful, but a lot of that comes from a partnership with the realtors and then the loan officer, Josh Sell in this case. So Josh does the work to collect things up front to where we don't have to pepper the client with a bunch of document requests. So that kind of helps out. It makes you guys look good because it's an efficient process, and the client's happy. They get a really nice, experience, especially first time home buyers.
Definitely. And I'm not to this is not piggybacking. This is way sidetracking. I just don't want to forget this. But we have to shout out Steve because he was our Easter bunny.
I was going to say that. Yeah, for those that attended our Easter.
Yes, it was freezing cold last year, and Steve, you couldn't even wear your shoes.
Right.
So you were freezing.
Yeah, it was. Thank goodness it was sunny out. So I found a warm spot on the pavement. You know what I mean? That could radiate the heat into my feet. And
That's why
yeah,
you were dancing
it
so
was
much.
yeah. I'm so happy that I have that on my resume that I was an Easter bunny.
The best Easter bunny
The
ever.
best
Because I mean,
one.
the kids really enjoyed you. You're very silly like us. I mean, we handle business, you handle business, but we have that fun, silly side
Yeah,
too, and you just fit
Yes.
it was
perfect.
a good time.
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah,
Yeah, because
yeah.
even at the open houses, like I love having him there because you're very personable with the people. Not pushy, like we've had so many clients like, yeah, I went to open house and the agent's at the door. You have an agent? You have an agent? And no, we just, hey, how are you? Welcome to
Yeah,
the
he
open
did
house.
Marco Polo with us. If you've seen that video at one of the open houses.
So Steve's a great guy. Can you tell us a little bit about your position at Hall Financial?
So I have a couple of my main position is director of realtor relations, which is making sure that Derek and Katie are happy, and being there is just kind of like another point of contact if they need something. In addition to that, I also lead a team of home loan advisors, also known as loan officers, and I have a team of those so we
Mm.
help people get home loans. Lots of purchases now, not so much refinance, but those are coming back too. So but purchases are hot right now, and hopefully, I'm kind of excited. I don't want to take us off the agenda, but I'd love to hear what your guys' thoughts are on the inventory. Is it good? What are we seeing out there?
Good question. Good question. Inventory's low right now.
Okay.
And I know Derica can talk about a couple instances where, she's been in multiple offer situations. I think my clients have gotten their houses under contract. They were looking at some that have been on the market a while. So I think that was good because there's some gems out there that people are just bypassing because they've been on the market. But you've been in several multiple offer situations lately.
Already, yeah, I'm like, wow, it was like the first, second week of March, and already, I just lost one over the weekend. My client only went $5,000 over, and they had 15 offers. It was a $240,000 price point. I had another one that we went $5,000 over. It was 405, and they had 11 offers.
One of the things, the reason why I brought that up is one of the things that I've observed is that working with Derica and Katie is that you guys structure offers in a really creative way. I think you guys are expert negotiators. Your
Thank you.
offers are accepted, in my opinion, because we work with a lot of realtors. Obviously, we're a lender, but we see you guys converting your offers into accepted offers in a higher ratio than some of our other realtor contacts. So that's a big compliment to you guys.
Yeah, thank you.
The way you structure an offer, I think, is super important. You bring a lot of credibility to the table. I think the listing agent feels that. Also helps that you have a solid pre-approval from Hall Financial. But mainly that's you guys bringing the great offer to the table, and the sellers are seeing you as somebody that's credible and that their house is going to sell, it's going to close, and they're gonna get what they want, which is a closing, right? Sell their
Hmm.
house so that they can buy another house or move somewhere south, Florida, where it's warm. Who
Well, and I
knows?
have to say, yeah, that'd be nice. I
Right.
have to say though too, it's definitely teamwork because
Yeah.
when we chat with lenders, we want to make sure that you guys are, if we're going out, we're looking at houses, after work hours. Our clients get off at 5 p.m. or we're on the house hunting on the weekends. So if we can get a hold of we always want our lenders to call the listing agent, tell them we got that solid pre-approval. So it's definitely teamwork because your lenders are calling the listing agents. You guys are putting in that extra effort to reassure them that we've got a solid pre-approval, a solid buyer to get our offer accepted. So it's definitely teamwork.
Can I brag about the pre-approval? Can I brag about it? So it's called a 5-star certified pre-approval, and we're a little bit different because we review the income ahead of time, the assets ahead of time, and the credit is thoroughly reviewed as well. So when we issue a pre-approval, it's not a pre-qualification or you give somebody the
Hmm.
license to go out and look for a house and they drag their realtor around all over town, but yet they're not
Ready.
really approved,
Hmm.
right?
Right.
So it's kind of pre-underwritten. So that's why when that offer converts into an accepted offer and you hand that client back to us, we're able to move it through the process in breakneck speed because we've done a lot of the hard work up front.
I
That's
really like that a lot too. Yeah, I
yeah,
really do.
yeah. Especially because our clients. I'm like, I think sometimes we warn them like, listen, just get your paperwork in,
Yeah.
and it's a lot. It can be a lot up front, but it's so worth it instead of scrambling at the last minute to get the clear close because they didn't turn in their documents. It
Yeah.
makes a huge difference.
I try to make sure that I go over that with my clients in the buyer's consultation to let them know, okay, you need this, 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 and this, so they can prepare those documents for the next step of calling the lender. So that way, when they get to Josh or somebody else from Hall Financial, they have those documents ready and they can get their pre-approval fairly quickly. Because a lot of times, if you don't have your stuff ready and you can't submit stuff, we're on hold because you can't really go out and show houses. You can't really put an offer in because if you're competing in a multiple offer, they have to know you're pre-approved. And some of them are saying now pre-approved buyers only. Like they won't even want you to show the house if they don't have a pre-approval. I mean, the market's it's moving. And even just a month ago, we were getting concessions. We were able to get repairs, like get concessions for our clients. And I'm like,
Price reductions.
yeah, it's
all
like
that.
right now, if it's a new house on the market, it's clean, and fairly updated because we see so many dirty houses, and it's just such a pet peeve of mine. But anyway, that's a whole nother podcast.
They're good pet peeves. That's fine.
Right. If it's a fairly updated house, it's going to go fast. It's going to get multiple offers and concessions. We'll see you back in September.
Mm, very nice.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's crazy. I'm really hoping inventory peaks up in the spring because we need it.
I hope
We
so
need it.
too.
Yeah.
Are you guys seeing a lot of first-time home buyers?
Yes.
Do you guys see what percentage do you think, if you had to guess?
Man, I would say, I mean, I would say like probably 80% of my buyers are first time home buyers.
At least probably 50%.
Yeah.
For me.
Yeah, so one of the things that we have at Hall Financial that might benefit first-time home buyers, we've helped a lot of realtors put together some deals for first-time home buyers. We have a FHA loan that also has a down payment assistance with it, but it's all handled in-house. Where other down payment assistance programs, they got to apply at a municipality, get approved for it, and it's always up in the air and squirrely at the end. It's very difficult. So we have a program where we can assist that client. We also have 3% down for conventional programs. We can help somebody literally just with maybe if you got a house that's been on the market for a little bit and they're willing to give concessions. I mean, we have people get into a house for less than $2,000 out of their pocket.
Nice.
You know what I mean? So it's out there. It's happened. That's great. But we're really good with first time home buyers. On our website, there's a first time home buying guide. But we were talking earlier, and you guys said, what's kind of the a common thing where somebody makes a mistake in the buying process.
Yes.
One of the things that we see, we don't see this from established, home buyers that have kind of maybe they're on their second or third home, but we do see it with new home buyers, a first-time home buyer. And that is they will get pre-approved. So we'll look at their income, their assets, and their credit thoroughly. We'll give them this pre-approval letter and say, here you go, Derek and Katie, go find them a house, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then what they don't do, and we warn them about this at the beginning of the process, but sometimes they get excited and they get that pre-approval, and then they get an offer accepted, and the next thing you know, they're at Gardner White,
Yeah.
filling that house, filling a credit card
Yeah.
with some purchases
Yep.
that then turn out to be a problem because a lot, especially first-time home buyers, they're riding on the razor's edge with the debt to income. That means how much money you have coming in and how much money you'll have going out once we add the new house payment and the rest of your debt. So if you have to add another debt on top of that, that can send the deal sideways.
Mm-hmm.
So I know that you guys do a great job in
Yes,
scaring
I
your clients
drill
to
it.
death.
Drill it. Do
So-
not.
So yeah, that's probably one of the biggest things that we say.
Yes, and make sure that you keep your job through closing.
Forgot about that one.
Please.
Yeah. Yeah, we've seen plenty of those.
Yeah.
Plenty of
Like,
those.
because just because you got your offer accepted and you're waiting to clear to close, I mean, you guys are still checking employment.
I
Right
mean, they
before
do it
closing.
24 hours.
Yep. Right before closing, we check, obviously, and that goes back.
And that's not just a Hall Financial thing.
No,
that
everybody does
is
it.
every
Everybody
lender.
does
Yes,
it.
everybody.
Everybody.
Can I ask you a question? I know you mentioned the FHA loan with down payment assistance. So I know we like to be upfront with some of our clients because they don't know some programs, they have to pay that money back, when they go to sell their house. Or so is your down payment assistance program something that they do pay back, or is that?
Yes. So when you sell the house or refinance, that's when you would pay back that down payment. So it's kind of like, think of it as a second lien on the home.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And so if you sell it, you got that additional lien. Let's say you're your 3.5% was only $3,500, right? Because it was $100,000 house. Then you would have that 3,500 that would go back with that would have to happen within 10 years.
I was gonna say
10
because I
years.
know some of them are 5 years, so
Yeah,
yours is
yep.
10.
Ours
Okay.
is 10.
Okay.
Yep.
Nice. Hey, you know what? Whatever money can help you get into a house, I think that's great.
Hmm.
So to clarify, they have to live there for 10 years.
They don't necessarily have to live there for 10 years. Just that if you live past 10 years, then the loan's forgiven.
Okay. Just wanted to clarify that so
Yeah,
they
Yeah.
understood
that's
that.
good. Yeah.
Mhm.
Taking that home, guys.
Yeah.
And there was another program, right, that I think one of your buyers got into.
Well, there's this really cool program for, so there's something called AMI, and it's the area median income. And so every county has it. And so let's say for Wayne County, the area median income, 80% of the median would be like 76,000. If somebody makes less than 76,000, there are conventional programs out there that remove. I don't want to get too far in the weeds, but there's something called loan level pricing adjustments in the lending industry, and with these first time home buying products on the conventional, if they're below a certain level of income, they waive all those, which makes the interest rate much more attractive, and the closing costs are a lot less because you're not having to layer on these pricing adjustments for the different risk. Oh, my credit's only 620 to 640. That's all waived, so it becomes
Mm.
very affordable.
Wow.
In fact, we call them affordable products, and they're really good. They're really awesome. It's conventional, so if you got 620 credit or above, you can qualify for one of those, and those are super cool. Some of them even come along with a $4,500 DPA, like a grant, and that is not repayable. You don't have to worry about it. It's just a grant. Here's $4,500
Wow.
as long as you meet some income requirements. So there's some programs that are out there. So if you got first time home buyers, let us know.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah,
love
I did
that.
too.
Because
Mhm.
some people just don't. I think there's a lot of people that we've talked to, and not a lot, but some people that we've talked to, they are, oh, I'm gonna wait until next year, or I'm not ready to buy, I'm not in a position to buy. But then when we introduce them to lenders that have all these different programs, and then and make it possible for them, they had no idea.
Right.
I love Hall Financial because you guys don't put the pressure on people. I always tell them, hey, just have a conversation with Josh, and if he says you're not ready or cannot qualify right now, he's gonna tell you what you need to do to qualify. That's important.
Super important. So one of the things that everybody has to remember with first time home buyers is that you don't want to use a lot of like mortgage jargon with them. They don't know what LTV means, which is loan to
Mm-mm.
value. They don't know what DTI means, which is debt to income ratio. So we take our time to kind of spell out some of these what seem really simple to us, but are very complex to the first time home buyer. So Josh Sell does a wonderful job
It does.
of
Better
just
be
kind of
watching
Love
this,
you,
Josh.
Josh.
does a wonderful job of explaining it to first time home buyers and making them feel comfortable to where they can ask questions. That's one of the things that a lot of lenders, they make a big mistake where they kind of give this feeling to even maybe a second or third time home buyer that they might be asking too many questions or stupid questions. You know what I mean? Where we go out of our way to make people, we want them to ask the questions, because the more questions they ask, the more they understand the home buying process,
Mm-hmm.
and the easier it is on all three of us.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, like we don't know all of that stuff you just said. Like we know like basic mortgage information or basic loan. We can prepare them to get ready. We can answer some basic questions, but that's not our job and it's not our lane. So when people start asking me these things, I'm like, you got to call them because that's your profession. Just like you're not going to know everything about a sewer scope. You know what I mean? So that's what makes the world go round. That's your lane. That's my lane. That's her lane. So we try to stay in it, but we know basic
Yeah.
stuff,
Mhm.
and we can help. But I love that you guys take that time to explain, because I know even, buying my first house, I was like, wait, what does all this mean? And learning about taxes and escrow and homeowners insurance and just all these things.
It's overwhelming.
It is, it's a lot. And people don't know. They think all they got to come with is their down payment. Like, no, there's more things that you have to pay for as well, like your taxes and your insurance and stuff. So,
Yeah.
One of the things, if you don't mind me bragging about you guys, is that I know that
Never.
everybody knows that you guys do a wonderful job on the buy side. Where you've got a shopper, whether it's a first time home buyer or maybe a return client, You guys do a wonderful job with that.
Thank you.
Incredible.
Thank you.
But one of the things that I'd like to highlight, and even though I don't see as much of it, but I've seen enough of it to know that your expertise in the listing side of things, I think, is really amazing, in my opinion.
Thank you.
So that because you need somebody
Mhm.
that number one is going to tell you the truth about your home, right?
Sometimes they like that, sometimes they
And
don't.
now sometimes it's hard to hear, right?
Yeah.
But so you got to hear the truth about your home and its marketability, and you got to have somebody that's going to give you some really good, honest advice that you can make your home as attractive as it possibly can be. Right? Not everybody's going to have a $500,000 home, right,
Right.
in Northville, right?
Right.
But some people are going to have a $150,000 to $200,000 home, maybe in a smaller community, and you guys can handle that too. Now you're wonderful with those large ticket homes for sure, but even just the what I call Joe Six Packs of the world who are selling their home and they need some good advice. You guys do a great job of marketing the home, but also just helping them to know what needs to be done to have a successful listing.
Thank
Yeah.
you so
Thank
much.
you. Thank you.
And that's what I think what's really important to us is we do not care about the price point.
Mm-mm.
We give the same service no matter if your house is $100,000 or $500,000 because everybody deserves a home and they deserve that concierge service. And Erica says this all the time to our clients when we go on listing appointments. Like, we're not the type of agents that are just going to put a sign in your yard and a lockbox on the door and call it a day.
Right.
Because,
Take pictures with our phones.
Yeah.
Another pet peeve.
Yes. Yeah. We might actually. But because we see that. I mean, we've been with clients before who were on the market with different agents, and their house sat on the market forever. And then we come in, they take our advice. Please take our advice. I mean, sometimes, we're asking them to repaint, we're asking them to declutter and all that, and it is a lot of work. But then they see the fruit of that, and we're
Mhm.
getting multiple offers, or we're getting offers accepted, and we're getting them closed, and we have happy clients.
So I call you guys the Neiman Marcus of the real estate industry. Let me explain what I mean. Is that
Neiman
I
Marcus?
really only go shopping about once a year, right? And it's during the holiday season, Christmas time. And I have a choice, right? Of course, I want to go to a mall. I don't want to get it online. I want to actually like experience, the Christmas shopping season. And I have a choice. I could choose a J.C. Penney or a Macy's, right? Or even a Nordstrom's if I'm going to get my wife perfume, right? Which I always buy her every single
Nice.
Christmas time. I buy her some perfume, right? Or like I can go to any one of those three places that I just mentioned for some perfume, and I can also go to Neiman Marcus for perfume. Now Neiman Marcus is going to, which you guys don't, but Neiman Marcus might be a little bit more expensive, but it's the experience that I pay for. I love going to Neiman Marcus because the women at the perfume counter are so helpful, so awesome, right? And you feel different. Like you just feel different. They make you feel different. And that's why I call you guys the Neiman Marcus of the real estate industries because you make people feel great at the end of the experience, at the
So
beginning of the
nice.
experience. And it's just wonderful. So
Thank
just
you.
my
I
just
love
my
this guy.
thoughts.
I love
Yeah.
this guy. Yeah, I'm gonna call you every morning and be like, Steve, I need a pep talk.
Yeah,
We're here. My
Well, I
motivation.
love
all
too
true.
with
It's all true though.
our clients become friends. Like we deal with them for whether it's 30 days or I dealt with one for 5 years. It took us 5 years to find that perfect home. And they're like they become friends, and we don't just give them their keys to their house and they never hear from us again. We drop stuff off at their homes. We've dropped pies off for Thanksgiving. We mail them stuff. I do a magazine for my clients. So it goes beyond the closing, I guess, for
I miss
us.
them after a while. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, we check on them. I mean, you just dropped off a baby gift for one of your clients, and I did when my clients had a baby, I sent her some onesies, and so it goes beyond the closing for us for sure.
Cool.
So thank you for
really
saying those
special.
kind
Yeah,
words.
it's
But
very
you guys are also, and that's why I think it was important for us when we did when I teamed up with Josh initially, and I kept telling Katie because we had just been through so many different lenders and just not the best experiences. Or they'd be great in the beginning, and then after they do 2 or 3 transactions, then they're like no longer calling our clients back, or they're not answering their questions. And then now my clients are saying, because I ask, how was your service? How did they answer your questions? Did they return your phone calls? And a year and a half later, almost 2 years later, I've still not had anybody complain about Josh. And so I told Katie, you got to call Hall. And so now, Katie, you've been using Hall for a good year, I think, too, right? Yeah. So you guys are an extension of us, and that's what I think is the most important. So you guys are Neiman Marcus then too.
Yeah,
Well,
honestly,
we're
'cause I haven't
honored.
heard any
We're
bad
honored.
feedback from you
Yeah,
guys.
thank you.
Honestly.
I
Yeah.
appreciate it. Very
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, and if we do, we know who to call.
Yeah, no,
Right.
that's true. Because I mean, even situations pop up sometimes and it's not a big deal. But
Right.
I call Steve and he handles it.
Right.
Because I mean,
Or Josh, and he handles it
chop,
too.
chop.
Like,
Yes.
That's what we do.
yes,
Hang up the phone and
they're
handle
on
it.
it. Yes,
'cause
yeah.
Josh, we've had some challenging situations last year, and I was like, 2025 is not going to be the same. But handles it like a pro, and there's a lot of emotions that go into the home buying process. Especially with our clients, home buying or selling. So having to not be sometimes we almost are like therapists and we just have to take the brunt of some of that stuff and it can be challenging, but Josh
And
handles
it's
it
not
like a
personal
pro.
though, and I've
No.
tried to teach you that
Yeah,
too.
yeah,
Like,
yeah, for
I
sure.
know when you first got into it years ago that you're like, oh, and I'm like, it's not personal. They can be upset with the situation or upset that they're in the situation. Maybe they don't have as much money as they needed, or maybe they weren't on the job long. Whatever the case may be, it's not a personal attack on you. It's not a personal attack on Hall. It's they're mad at themselves or what their situation is. And we have to stay emotionless. And there's days that we're like, that's why I do puzzles.
Oh,
My puzzles
that's
allow
a
me.
secret.
Yeah. Well, are you not on my Facebook? I post my puzzles. It's okay. Sorry.
Are you not?
I don't do a lot of Facebook anymore.
It's okay. There's my look. Demetrius, for you. There's my look.
No, I'm not done that.
but the puzzles allow me just to be. I don't have to focus on nothing right now. I can do all of the days, whatever happened, Juju, and focus on putting these pieces together, and that's it. So yeah.
Mine's sleeping. Good night.
So different, right?
Yeah.
What do you do?
Do I have a way of relaxing?
Yeah, or just exhaling from the day's chaos.
Oh, he does.
or-
He's a party animal.
He is definitely a
Just
party
saying.
animal. We
Just
heard about
saying.
that. Yeah.
Right. So I would like to have a tequila. If
Okay,
I've had a hard
tequila.
day, or if I've had a hard day or a good day, I like to enjoy tequila.
Either way,
in the evening. So yeah,
there's nothing wrong with tequila.
Right.
No.
Sue me.
Yes, there is. There's a
I
lot
mean,
wrong with tequila.
I'm not a tequila person. It's just kind of like a joke that we ongoing have. She definitely should not be
No.
drinking
I
tequila,
told
but
Steve about my
another
mezcal story,
podcast.
which I'm not sharing on here. And so now he always asks me about the mezcal because he likes it.
Every time I see her, it's awesome.
No.
Thank you.
Anyway, I think we're gonna wrap it up.
Yeah,
right?
I think it's a wrap. Thank you guys so much. We'll end it on tequila.
That's how I like to end the day. All right. Thanks for joining us.
I need,
Thanks,
black
Steve.
coffee.
Thank you very much for having me. Thank you, Katie. Thanks, Derek.